charged with 91 felonies charged with defrauding the United States with fake electors and trying to steal the election. Says he wants to suspend the Constitution if he wins again. He's talked about that openly. He tweeted about that the Constitution shouldn't apply because I feel like I was cheated out of the last election. So you got to throw out all the rules, all the regulations. Imagine any other Republican in history said we should suspend the Constitution, how other Republicans would react. We know how they'd react. They'd kick that guy to the curb immediately. On the policy front, Trump destroyed the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which was the watchdog for regular people when they got robbed by banks or credit card companies. Killed the regulation and court cases into the predatory payday loan industry, siding with them because they gave him $1 million for his inauguration. Cut taxes for the rich. Everybody remembers 83% of the tax cuts in that bill went to the top 1% over the long run. This isn't like good for regular people. It is good for the plutocrats and the oligarchs and the billionaires. He increased drone strikes over 400%, kept us in Iraq and Afghanistan, even though he said he'd get us out. Assassinated a top Iranian commander who was on the ground fighting ISIS, General Soleimani. We all remember that. That nearly sparked a much, much wider war. They tried to coup Venezuela. They ripped up the Iran agreement. They ripped up the Paris Climate Accord. Now Trump's saying he wants to do a war with Mexico. He wants to designate the drug cartels as terrorist organizations so we can go in there and start bombing them, even though our ally, the Mexican government, says don't do that. You want to piss off one of our top allies in that brazen of a way and start a brand new war? Trump armed Saudi Arabia as they did a genocide in Yemen. You know, he did the Abraham Accords and moved the embassy to Jerusalem, which helped lead to October 7th and what we're witnessing now. He's already saying Israel should finish the job and go further and keep doing the genocide. This time, in his campaign, Trump has said, I want to ban socialists and communists from coming into the country. He wants to do ideological thought crimes for people who come in the country. He wants to expand the Muslim ban. The list goes on and on. He outsourced 200,000 jobs. So the policy stuff backs up the character analysis from Robert De Niro. And I think it's true. People need to realize, I think his second term, all the brakes are off the car. Because here's why. Trump did a lot of horrible things in the first term. Horrible things. But the fact of the matter is he had some people who were establishment Republicans who, when Trump would do an egregious overstep, they would step in and say, we're not doing that. Like, for example, when Trump tried to invoke the Insurrection Act and deploy the U.S. military in our streets to deal with the George Floyd riots and protests. And they were like, we're just not going to deploy the U.S. military to go after our own people. That's not happening. That's flat out authoritarianism. And so they reeled him in. They reeled him in when he was trying to basically steal the 2020 election and seize the voting machines and declare martial law. He needed people like Bill Barr and others to be like, we're not doing that. This time he's going to pack the administration with loyalists. Complete loyalists. So whatever he says goes. If you don't have any check on this guy, think of the damage he could do. As bad as it was the first term, it could be way worse the second term.